Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Riverside Board of Trustees regular meeting of Thursday, December 4th, 2025. Please stand as you're able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marchowska?
Here.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Here.
Trustee Gallegos?
Here.
Trustee Mateo? Here. Trustee Evans? Here. Manager Francis?
Here.
Attorney Pickrell?
Here.
Also present, Clerk Stenzel.
The President's report this evening. First, I would like to congratulate one of our residents, Valerie Kramer, who won an award as the Advocate of the Year from the Active Transportation Alliance. Don't know if people know a lot about Active Transportation Alliance, but you probably know it best by their annual event of Bike the Drive. They are advocates, an advocacy organization for alternative transportation, including pedestrians, bicycling, and public transportation. And they have awarded Valerie with Advocate of the Year. So congratulations to Valerie Kramer, and thank you for all the hard work you've done for the benefit of the Village of Riverside. Upcoming meetings, our Historic Preservation Commission meets on December 11th here at the Town Hall, 6:30 p.m. Our next Village Board meeting will not be until January 16th. Our December 18th meeting is on the calendar, but has been canceled for the holidays. On January 16th, we will have a Committee of the Whole meeting at 4:30 and our regular Village Board meeting at 6:30. That concludes my President's report, other than to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Trustee reports. Are there any trustee reports this evening?
Well, speaking of the holidays, the Riverside 150 Committee will be having a presence at this year's holiday stroll, which is tomorrow night. It will be chilly, but we hope to see you all out here. We're going to be stationed in front of the village offices, and we will be having some commemorative sesquicentennial ornaments, some warm Riverside 150 beanies in case you forget your hat, and also, last but not least, the remaining street signs will be available for inspection and cash and carry purchase at the low price of $100 a piece. So this represents a great discount. Stop by and see us. Last chance on these because this is the last sale that the committee will be having. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other trustee reports.
I'll go on about the holiday stroll, as Trustee Aberdeen mentioned. This is the most magical time of the year, and tomorrow night is the most magical night in our village. It begins at 5:30 at Museum Campus, as we will have the Brian Brennan Memorial Tree Lighting Ceremony, and Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus will both arrive by fire truck to light up the tree and gather around the kids. And you'll see our illumination on the water tower as it's there to spread holiday cheer. There'll be a number of attractions, and I encourage everyone to go onto the Facebook page or the Chamber website page, as we used to have maps, but now it's just all done digitally, and they'll find out who has chocolate. There'll be an enormous amount of hot chocolate. It will be cold, so please dress warmly. There'll be entertainment at a lot of our establishments. We'll have popcorn. There'll be entertainment upstairs at the Township Hall with the Children's Guild. There'll be the Winter Artesian Market at the train station. This is where we get to enjoy our downtown at night. So I encourage all families to come out and be safe and dress warmly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pictures with Santa?
At the library, yes. And Mrs. Claus.
Thank you. This is one of the big annual events in the Village of Riverside, and hopefully people will be able to attend. Any other trustee reports? Manager Francis, manager's report.
Thank you. I have a couple of items this evening. First, I wanted to thank the village board and village staff for another successful budget year. The budget document and all the related budget items are on this agenda for approval and acceptance. It's always an intense, heavy lift as we go through all of our planning processes, but staff is very pleased with the outcome, as I hope the board is as well. Additionally, village offices will be closed on December 24th, 25th, and January 1st for the upcoming holidays. I wanted to recognize the following staff anniversaries. So we have Delilah Del Castillo, who's a production assistant, and she's been with the village for 4 years. She's right over there. We have Robert Conchas, who's our building inspector, and he's been with the village for 2 years. Ian Split is management analyst in the finance department. He's actually been with the village for 9 years, of which part of that was in a part-time capacity in Parks and Recreation. We have George Segura, who's both a part-time firefighter and full-time in the Public Works Department. Overall, he's been with the village for 10 years of that, 6 years within Public Works, but 10 years overall in the fire department. We have Chewy Moran, who most if not all residents know Chewy. He's a crew leader within the Public Works Department. He's been with the village for 18 years. Mike Bardick, our electrical inspector, who works part-time, has been with the village for 52 years.
Wow.
He's the only one that has more years of service than Director Buckley. Officer Isaac Hamilton has been with the village for 13 years. Joe Maganello in our Public Works Department has been with the village for 24 years. Mike Collins has been with the village, he's a village forester, has been with the village for 21 years. So I just wanted to recognize those staff members. I'm going to try to do that whether it's every other month or on a quarterly basis. Additionally, a couple of updates for the village board. So the Turtle Park planning process is well underway, and Parks and Recreation is working diligently with Hitchcock regarding visioning, design, structures, etc. So currently, the Parks and Rec Board has reviewed Turtle Park. Preservation will be reviewing next week the design. Currently, the board has not directed staff for Landscape Advisory Commission to review the park. So the next step after preservation board review, it would come back to the board, but staff wanted to check in with the village board to see if whether or not you wanted Landscape Advisory Commission to review the design before it coming to you. We just want to avoid extra steps unnecessarily.
I think that would be a good idea. It's within a park, so yes.
Okay. All right. And then finally, I have been in recent meetings with Army Corps of Engineers regarding the Groveland flood wall, so I wanted to give a brief update. Funding was received by Army Corps, and so they have been able to resume the project. They received the funding both by Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, in addition to funding being freed up at the federal level. They will be beginning, I don't have a precise date, but they have told me the Section 106 review. And I just wanted to list out who I have on my list to see if board members had anybody else that you wanted to have that review done by, or I'm sorry, notification of the review so that they can provide feedback. So I have our Preservation Commission, National Park Service, IDNR, IEPA, EPA, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, Illinois State Archaeological Survey, Olmsted Society, Landmarks Illinois, State Historic Preservation Office, Landscape Advisory Commission, Cook County Forest Preserve, and adjacent property owners. Is there anyone else that should be included?
I think just potentially interested parties like the Olmsted Society of Riverside, and then the Olmsted Network, which is the former NAOP, National Association of Olmsted Parks. And did you say the Forest Preserve?
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. If the board has any additional interest in parties that they would like to be included on notifications, please email them to me and I'll make sure that Army Corps includes it. That is,
Is East Grove considered adjacent, the homes on East Grove?
not on East Grove, East,
The ones that face the river?
West Avenue?
Groveland, yeah, Groveland. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
so it would be,
thank you, I'm sorry.
yes.
Thank you. What am I talking about?
That is all I have this evening, thank you.
And I would like to thank all of those staff, all of our staff, especially those celebrating anniversaries. In our form of local government, staff is the one who is out there doing all the work for us. And the fact that we have so many that have stayed around so long is a good indication that Village of Riverside is a well-run organization, which we all know to be true. So thank you to all the employees, especially those celebrating their anniversary. Public comments, non-agenda items. Now is the time that anyone in the audience may address the board on items that are not on the agenda, knowing that when we get to a particular item, we'll have an opportunity at that time to address the board on that particular agenda item. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to address the board on a non-agenda item? There are none. Consent agenda. Clerk Stenzel, please read the consent agenda.
Approve voucher list of bills December 4th, 2025. Approve Village Board of Trustees regular meeting minutes November 20th, 2025. Review and file Board and Commission minutes. Riverside TV Commission regular meeting minutes October 6, 2025. A resolution directing the reduction of 2025 property tax levies by the Cook County Tax Extension Office if necessary. An ordinance of the Village of Riverside, Illinois adopting a pre-approved vendor list. An ordinance adopting the annual budget for the Village of Riverside for the year commencing January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. An ordinance adopting the annual budget for the Riverside Public Library for the year commencing January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026. Motion to approve 2026 budget document. An ordinance amending the village code relating to false alarms and amending a fee schedule for the Village of Riverside. An ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2025 to pay the principal and interest of $6,065,000 general obligation bonds for Waterworks and Sewerage System Alternative Revenue Source, Series 2025 of the Village of Riverside, Cook County, Illinois. A resolution of the Village of Riverside, Illinois waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the village manager to enter into an agreement and issue a purchase order to BSNA Software not to exceed $112,090 for the purchase of an annual subscription and implementation fees for BSNA's proprietary hosted enterprise resource planning service. A resolution authorizing the village manager to issue a purchase order to Sutton Ford of Mattison, Illinois for the purchase of a 2026 Ford F-250 4x4 pickup truck in an amount not to exceed $59,500. And a resolution authorizing the village manager to issue a purchase order to Miles Chevrolet of Decatur, Illinois for the purchase of a 2026 electric power Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck in the amount not to exceed $47,511.
Did we skip over D accidentally? Or did
The abate, or the if necessary?
A resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the village manager to enter into various purchase orders for fiscal year 2026, or did I just miss it myself? Anyway, that's included, right?
It is included.
Okay. Do any of these items need to be removed? Seeing none, would someone, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marshaska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Gallegos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. Department, board, and commission reports. First, we have a 2025 sustainability update. Village Clerk Stenzel.
So this year's been filled with many great achievements for the village regarding sustainability. Just to list a few of those things, the board adopted the Climate Action and Resilience Plan, Road to 2050. They also adopted the Village of Riverside Energy Action Plan at our most recent meeting. The Natural Resource Management Plan that was developed and adopted along with the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. adopted an updated mission, a vision, values, and new strategic goals that emphasize the importance of sustainability. There were 23 different agenda items in 2025 that cited the previous goal of continue to implement and expand sustainability and environmental health initiatives. The continuation of the agreement with Waste Not for year-round composting. Just a reminder, Flood Brothers also offers composting, just not year-round. For Waste Not, we've had a total of 41,452 pounds composted, which is 41,102 miles offset and 38 gallons of gas. The continuation of the 100% green energy aggregation program, and the list continues. So looking to 2026, staff recently met with Melanie Nutter of Nutter Consulting about both an educational campaign and action items for the Energy Action Plan. During the conversation, Nutter identified different high-level impacts to our greenhouse gas emissions. For many of those items, the board and staff have actually already begun taking steps to research and potentially enact some of those. For example, a dark skies plan and potential reduction of light pollution, which is included in the 2026 budget. Staff will continue to give quarterly updates to the board on sustainability, as well as work with regional partners to help support the implementation of plans to fall in line with the board's new goal to advance environmental sustainability and climate resilience.
Thank you. Any questions for Clerk Stenzel? Any public comments on the sustainability update? Further discussion from the board? Thank you. B, update of vacation rentals in residential district. Director Siren.
Thank you. This is an update on the village board's request to consider allowing vacation rentals in multifamily buildings in the residential districts, and also a request to provide direction to staff regarding amending the zoning code to do that. Following the board's request on November 17th, the PZC discussed whether they should be allowed in multifamily buildings subject to certain restrictions that the board had specified. 3 of the 5 commissioners present at the meeting stated they would be opposed to that for the reasons similar to the ones they stated during the meeting on October 22nd. The 2 commissioners who weren't present at that meeting expressed opposition to allowing vacation rentals during that October 22nd meeting. The 2 commissioners who supported the idea of allowing vacation rentals said they would do so with many restrictions, including limiting the total number of vacation rentals allowed in the village and making it clear how violations would be addressed. An important note is that following that November PZC meeting, Maria Bernardi, who submitted the original request for vacation rentals, modified her request. The village code currently limits vacation rentals in business districts where they are permitted to 60 calendar days a year. So that's the total number that you could rent a vacation rental in the village per year. Ms. Bernardi asked that there be no limit on the number of number of rental days to ensure that a vacation rental would be economically viable. So she would ask to have no limit on the number. Staff and the board received other feedback from the public, which was included in the agenda materials. If the board would like to move forward, we would take this to the Economic Development Commission, which was previously requested by the board, and then work with the village attorney to draft amendments to the zoning code and the village code, which would be presented first to the Planning and Zoning Commission during a public hearing, then to the Preservation Commission, and then back to the village board for review. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Director Siren? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comments? Discussion by the board.
I would like EDC to take a look at this like I requested before. I would also like to have them review that 60-day rule to see if it does make sense to keep it or not. I also want the question before them about how this would affect property values as well. That's come up as well. So those are the questions I'd like to have before them.
Thank you. Trustee Evans.
I would like for us today to just take a pass on vacation rentals in the village. The possibility has gotten mixed reviews from the community. There's no support from the neighbors. Anyone I talk to, any of the residents that I've talked to, friends, nobody wants to have a vacation rental next to their house or in their neighborhood. I don't think that allowing vacation rentals, even with a 500-foot buffer, would provide enough rentals for the need that people in the community have said that they have for rental nearby for their family. I don't think we would even have enough to meet the need if we did allow it. So I'm hoping that we can just sort of close this chapter tonight.
Other trustees?
I seem to be in agreement with that as well. You're saying bring it to the Economic Development Committee. Does that have to do more with what the commercial is or for what residential is? Because it seems like the sentiment within the village right now is, and especially with the different committees that this all has gone through, that there's pretty unanimous decision that it's not necessarily needed or wanted in residential. So just for clarification, bring it to the EDC. Is it more for residential or for commercial purposes?
Well, we already have it in the commercial district, so this would be the question of, does it do well in the residential? That's why I want the question of how this would affect property values. That's come up. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, people guess and they give out their opinions, and social media keyboard warriors are out there to give out their opinions, but EDC has been tasked for these specific questions. I don't know the answer yet. I don't know if I am in favor of this or not. I did want to have the discussion. I was wanting to hear the person who brought it to us and have that full discussion. But with all these facts, I'm not ready to make a decision either way.
Well, this was for discussion anyways at this point.
It's for discussion, but I think Trustee Evans is suggesting that the board take action to stop the process, basically, to not proceed beyond tonight, which you can do by consensus or by motion. Or we can proceed as originally planned, which is consistent with what Trustee Gallegos is saying, where it would go to EDC and then Plan Commission for public hearing, then back to us. So looking for consensus, or if there's not agreement on how to proceed, I would look for a motion to direct staff to proceed or to direct staff to not proceed.
I'll make a motion to proceed.
Is there a second for that? Not a second. Would someone like to make a motion directing staff not to proceed?
Well, that motion just dies for lack of second, right?
That motion dies for lack of second, so,
Correct.
yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to not proceed with
Correct.
this consideration.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion on the motion?
I've heard people ask why we revisited this. The answer is somebody asked us to do that. It's been 7 years since it was last considered. There's only one person on this board who was part of the discussion 7 years ago. There's only one person on the Planning and Zoning Commission who was part of the discussion 7 years ago. So enough time has passed. I think it was a legitimate inquiry to make, especially because of potential economic benefits. People dining out, for example, or visiting our museum. I think it was a worthwhile agenda. I appreciate the work of the Planning and Zoning Commission. They weren't keen on it, but they went through the standards. They gave us what we asked them to do. But at the end of the day, I don't think people are wanting this in their residential areas.
I'm inclined to agree. I was, I watched the Planning and Zoning Committee, and I was meeting on this, and I was very, excuse me, a little surprised that they didn't see this as a corollary to the bed and breakfast situation with the owner on site, albeit in a separate room, room, but on site and accountable. But that wasn't enough to persuade the majority of them. And now, having heard from the public a bit more on this issue, I think it is not, I don't think Riverside is ready for it, even though it might be the best thing for, providing another opportunity for people to enjoy the village, but in a more controlled and responsible format. But I think that we're just not ready for it.
Any other discussion on the motion? If not, Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marshallska?
Yes.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Nay.
Trustee Mateo? Aye. Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Motion's approved 4-1. So this item, just for public's knowledge, will not proceed. Anyone in the village at any time has the right to petition the village for text amendments to the code. Typically, text amendments are done by the village through our staff, but only when there's general agreement on the board level to do so. What you're hearing today is that the board does not want to proceed with public hearings to consider the text amendment to allow short-term rentals in residential districts. Thank you. And thank you to staff and especially Planning and Zoning Commission. I too watched their meetings and I appreciate the due consideration they gave this. Thank you. Next item on the agenda. Tax levy ordinance for the year 2025-2026 collection. Village of Riverside, Illinois. Director Zavala.
Thank you. The 2025 estimated property tax levy for the village consists of $6,712,809 for corporate, special, and police pension purposes, and $827,150 for debt service, which $445,400 will be abated for a total village levy of $7,094,599. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Zavala or staff? Any public comments on this item? If not, could I get a motion and a second to approve the 2025 Village of Riverside tax levy ordinance?
Motion.
Motion,
Second.
second. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marshallska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo? Aye. Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Tax levy ordinance for the year 2025-2026 collection, Riverside Public Library. Director Zavala.
Thank you. The 2025 estimated property tax for the Riverside Public Library totals $1,431,900 for corporate and special purposes and $126,000 for debt service, for a total library levy of $1,557,900. This is the final action of the budget process, and I would like to thank the board and also Village Manager Frances for your time and guidance through the process and for taking us through another year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Zavala?
I just want to echo Manager Francis. Thank you for all the work that you and your department has done, and all the department heads as well. And Emily, of course, everybody.
Only had a big part.
I'd like to acknowledge that Director Janice Foley from the library is in attendance. Thank you for attending. There's no further discussion or questions. I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the 2025 Riverside Public Library tax levy ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marshallska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Motion's approved. An ordinance adopting an amusement tax for the Village of Riverside, Illinois. Director Zavala.
Thank you. Included in your packet is an ordinance drafted by legal counsel to capture what was discussed at the previous board meeting. This ordinance combines elements of the Illinois Municipal League's model amusement tax ordinance as well. The expected revenue from the amusement tax is incorporated into the budget for 2026, and Manager Frances has some additional information regarding.
Yes,
Thank you.
so, thank you. So just to kind of recap as it relates to amusement tax, streaming tax, but also cable franchise fee. So we go into the Wayback Machine of state legislation. As most board members and the general public, and I'm sure Attorney Pickrell know, that sometimes state law takes a while to catch up with what is happening in technology. A couple of examples of that have been, communities when they've implemented hands-free ordinances, no talking on cell phones, everything has to be hands-free. A lot of communities adopted local ordinances, and then the state followed suit with updating compiled state statutes. From my perspective, the amusement tax is no different. Currently, the state of Illinois has a state franchise rate of 5%, but it's for cable TV. And so that state statute has not been updated since the inception of cable TV. Cable TV is going away, and it is pivoting to streaming and amusement. Still a same, generally speaking, method of entertainment, shall we say. So the franchise fee that we currently have with Comcast is 5%, and we have a franchise agreement with Comcast. AT&T follows under the state franchise, that is at 5%. What the board is looking to adopt this evening is an amusement/streaming tax and at the rate of 5%. Comcast is aware that this is pending, and they've also told us, so they would not be taxed twice, to be clear. It would just be on any of their streaming items in which their customers are paying for. So if there is a streaming application that is for free, residents would not be charged that 5% tax. If it is at a reduced rate, the 5% tax would be applied to that reduced rate. So I had asked Director Zavala to kind of provide an illustration, and Clerk Stencil assisted as well in creating the graphic of what our history has looked like. This is specifically as it relates to our cable franchise fee and what it looked like back in 2014? 15, thank you, versus what we're seeing to date. And it is a $40,000 decrease. It has happened incrementally over the past 10 years, but it has happened. And so once again, that is because many residents have pivoted and decided to no longer utilize cable services, but have still received a similar type of service, but now it's via streaming services. So I thought it was important for general public, for residents to realize that they were paying that 5% when they had cable with Xfinity, Comcast, and now, or Uverse. And now if they've moved and pivoted to a streaming service, currently they are not paying that.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Any public comments on this item? Discussion by the board.
I am not a big fan of this on it. I just don't think it's the most effective fit for the residents in this village at this time. There's been recent levy increases from other entities on here. There's a shift in burden to some of the residents for some of these services. And with some of the administrative capacities, especially if we go to third party, taking 32% away, that really bites into some of these numbers that were coming in.
Manager Francis?
If I may, we're not utilizing a third party right now. The goal is for 2026 to do that in-house.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? If not, I would ask for a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
second. Any further discussion? Clerk Stenzel?
Trustee Marshowska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Hey.
Trustee Gallegos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion's approved, ordinance approved. D, an ordinance amending Title IX of the Village Code of the Village of Riverside, Illinois, relating to bicycles, motorized scooters, and other low-speed vehicles. Manager Francis and Director Buckley on this one.
I will start it, and he will wrap up the items. So in October, the board reviewed e-scooters and e-bikes, and potentially implementing state statute within our village code to allow for local adjudication of issues that may occur. What is being presented before the board is just that. Attorney Pickrell did an amazing job of not only incorporating Illinois Vehicle Code, but incorporating in such a way that if there are any changes that are made at the state level, we don't have to turn around and make additional updates to our village code, which we appreciate, especially from the legal fees perspective.
Absolutely.
One item, though, to note as it relates to this pending ordinance is the board had asked Attorney Pickrell to research whether or not we could change the e-scooter age to 16 versus 18 as what is in the Illinois statute, and we are not able to do that. So what is looking to be adopted is the age of 18 for that particular item.
So, thank you. The officers of the Riverside Police Department are committed to protecting the residents of the community. By having this ordinance, it gives us the ability to educate, enforce, and if necessary, adjudicate those that improperly ride these motorized devices. For us, the education part is the most important. It's the key component for this ordinance. But if necessary, enforcement action can be taken. Due to it being this time of the year, if this ordinance is passed, I would like to advise parents to really look at this ordinance, make sure you check the state statute. A lot of kids are going to be putting these types of devices on their Christmas lists, and want them to make sure that whatever they do purchase, they're going to be able to utilize properly. So I just want to forewarn people a little bit. Although we are looking to pass this ordinance, there is already a state statute that's out there. We're just looking to adopt it here in Riverside and give us more control over the enforcement and the adjudication process, where we can handle that in-house here instead of potentially going to our courthouse in Maybrook.
There may be some comfort to parents to know that by adopting this, if we didn't adopt this, then e-scooters would be banned outright in Riverside, but by adopting this, we're allowing them subject to certain regulations. So they can still buy those Christmas presents if they want to.
Thank you. Any questions for staff?
I do, just
Yes.
quickly. Is there any way we can send out information about this quickly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So the goal would be to create some different infographics to put not only our website, we'll do e-flashes, social media posts, and then we'll also work with District 96 and also 208, because you have, freshmen and sophomores that are not 16 or 18, depending on what they're choosing to ride. And so just making sure we're sharing all that information.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And my only question is, and I think I know the answer, but even currently and going forward, are there any circumstances where an e-bike, e-scooter can be ridden on a sidewalk?
No, this is governed by, let's pull up the code itself here. So what I have done, or let's pull up, I'll get you the exact language. So I've created a generalized term, unfortunately. So there's e-bikes, e-scooters, there's gas bikes, and pull it up here, which, so there's e-bikes, e-scooters, and gas bikes, which we have created as a generalized term called motor-driven vehicle. They're all very low speed. We regulate them like bikes. And under subsection F of 933, we say a person may not operate a motor-driven vehicle or a high-speed scooter on a public sidewalks or pedestrian paths, village-owned bike paths, village-owned parks, village-owned parking lots, or where prohibited by signage.
I think that's an important thing for residents to know, is that even if a person's of age and can legitimately ride and operate one, under no circumstance should they be on the sidewalk, any sidewalk. Thank you. Any other questions, discussion? I think I asked for any public comments on this? No? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make said motion.
Motion to approve and second to approve. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marchowska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Motion's approved. New business, resolution adopting a capital asset policy. Director Zavala.
Thank you. The capital asset policy is needed to ensure the village is adhering to the various accounting principles and financial reporting standards. It's more of an accounting policy for the finance department to use. It will aid in preparation of the annual comprehensive financial report. And the motion is needed for approval.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Any public comment? If there's no further discussion, I'd ask for a motion and a second to, on the ordinance.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marchowska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Ordinance is approved. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of waterworks and sewerage revenue bonds of the Village of Riverside, Cook County, Illinois, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $12 million for improvements to the waterworks and sewerage system of the village through the replacement of lead service lines. Director Zavala.
Thank you. At the October 16th board meeting, the board approved the final ordinance of the $4 million zero-interest loan from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. This new ordinance will allow the village to apply for an additional $4 million zero-interest loan annually over the next 3 years for a total of $12 million. The funding is needed to continue the lead service line replacement project, which was mandated by the state in 2022. Notice of this authorization will be published in the Landmark newspaper on December 10th, 2025. The loan is reimbursable, which will be paid from the Water and Sewer Fund and is property tax neutral. The repayment term is expected to be 30 years with a 0% interest rate. A final ordinance will be presented to the board each year in order to accept the loan terms and proceed with funding. A motion is needed to approve this authorizing ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Any public comment? If there's no further discussion, I ask for a motion and a second to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marchowska?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance approved. The board does not have a need for an executive session this evening. Before we close, I'd like once again to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Please join us at the Holiday Stroll tomorrow evening, 5:30 downtown Riverside. And I would ask for a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved as well.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. We are adjourned.
Merry Christmas.